We are here with actor, director, producer, influencer. You really do it all. Enzo Zelocchi, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
We've got a lot to talk about with the many hats that you wear. The first thing that I want to touch on is that The First Secret was the second most watched video on Instagram for the month of March with over 24 million views. So tell me, what do you think about that trailer amounted to so many views? What was the success point?
I think it was at the timing. I think it was the right time. When they advised me not to do it, I just followed my instinct, and I said, it makes common sense that everybody is home bored and they're going to all the time. So and all the big marketing office for studio movies and everything are closed. They are not working literally. So I said, well, they're not pushing nothing, so this is the best time to do something. That's my opinion, and thankfully I was successful in my intuition, and that's why I decided to move forward, and ta-da, that's what happened.
Well, clearly it was extremely successful. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but The First Secret is the first of a series, yes?
Yes, I conceived The First Secret as a movie. So that one is a movie. The Source, I conceived it as a movie, then turned into a TV series. But regarding The First Secret is the story basically of the real life inspiration for Ian Fleming, the real character that really existed to inspire him to invent James Bond 007.
Touching on The Source, the trailer for The Source, that topped that number even further. Statistics are crazy. That one got over 200 million views globally. So tell me about The Source. Tell me more about that project and what made you think made that trailer receive that many views globally.
Well, from the first experience that I had with The First Secret, when I released the trailer, I thought I did that with basically putting together a bunch of footage that we had, because we never meant to cut the first trailer of The First Secret like this. And then I said, well, if I do something even better, which was a little harder when we shot it, because not a lot of people were work, but a lot of people they needed to work. So I was able to put together a nice crew at the time and to shoot it, and then put together some visual effects. And I was very blessed. So I thought, well, there is another room for another opportunity here, and have people to talk about it and take a look at it at least, but with a lot of like boom, boom, raising questions. What is that? What is that? So people can ask me more questions.
I think everything you've said is very true, but I think it is wonderful that, you are so talented. You're a creative genius. And so to be able to take your project and adapt it to be, a series, maybe then not a film, to be able to take the story and adapt it to fit that mold, it really just shows your talent. Now, the project definitely fits the sci-fi action genre. So I'm curious, is that your favorite genre to work in?
Yeah, I like, I like fantasy movies. I like sci-fis. I like action. I like a mix of everything in between.
Is there a genre that you maybe haven't worked in that you would be interested in one day doing a project in?
A nice, it's been done so many times, but a nice crime piece, a nice crime piece. I really would love to do something like that one day as a producer, actor, and maybe as a director. But right now I'm more focused into acting and producing.
And out of all the projects you've done, what has been your favorite thus far? Which is such a hard question to ask, but if you could name one as exalted above all.
Probably a very small project that I did about a decade ago, My Little Princess. I literally did from A to Z on my own, pretty much, and it literally made a deep impact into my life as a man, as a person, as an artist, and as also business person. It made me realize the deep meaning of life and also of community. But yeah, definitely My Little Princess, because it opened my eyes a lot, but even by watching the stories and speaking with parents that they lost a child for cancer, or what they do after that. Some of them, they open a foundation. For example, it was a mother that she lost her daughter for cancer, and she decided to open a no-profit for dressing little girls like Little Princess, hospitals and stuff. And I thought wow, that's that made my heart melt.
You touched on how you like to be productive and proactive, which speaks for itself because of all the different hats that you wear and all the different things that you do, from actor, producer, director, influencer, the list goes on. How did you get started in the entertainment industry, and how did you find a home in each of those different passions?
I started as a model, when I was 13 years old. And then I modeled in Milan, New York. And then I always knew that was enough for me, that I wanted to be, I have so much more to give. So I started as a model. And then I did some commercials. I booked a TV show on national television in Italy for Channel 5. From that, I figured like, wow, I like this. You know, that's I feel like more alive, complete, and everything. Then I worked with one of the directors in Italy at the time. Unfortunately, passed away, but he gives me the first chance. We had a small talk interview. He looked at me and he said, yeah, I like this guy. Okay, let's do it. So that's how I booked my first job, you know, my big acting job. And I love that. So it was a kind of a direct booking. And I was nobody then. So, I mean, I don't, you know, so I was like, wow. So I get to spend time on set in the first season. And that was enough for me anyway. So I figured, let's go back to, you know, move back to New York. I met Susan Batson. She's an acting coach. She's an private acting coach for Nicole Kidman, Juliette Binoche. She worked with Johnny Depp, even with Oprah, not Madonna, Puff Daddy, you name it. She was great. She put me in all the classes, her private class. I had private moments with her. So she opened me up in a way. And then when she left to shoot with Nicole Kidman to shoot The Compass, was a movie a while ago. Then I decided, okay, I'm moving back to LA. And then that's when I decided to leave New York for LA.
Well, it sounds like that was like such an incredible experience that really made a mark on your career. But it also sounds like since the age of 13, you have been blast off to success on the wheel of just grinding and working so hard. So I think that there's definitely a fire within you that has been ignited since day one. And you also, you opened up your own production company. So tell me, how did that develop? And what's it like to run your own?
Well, it's a natural thing. As an actor, you know, way bigger actors than me, they all have one. I mean, the entertainment business is a business. So a lot of people forget that it's a business. So you need to make a choice. You need to make a choice, either decide to be a puppet or a puppeteer. At least you're not in the middle of like a storm, like with your little boat, and then the wind decides, oh no, actually I want to be an aircraft, a warship, and then I'll decide where to go.
Take control,
baby. This is when I just to open different entities as production companies, and never wait for a phone call, you know, and just be and actually be the phone call that some people are waiting for. So if sometimes, you know, especially the beginning of your career, the phone doesn't ring as much. And you know what? Whatever, you know, okay, well, you know, I'll make things on my own, and then you guys can catch up later. So my attitude is always never to victimize myself, never to sit down and wait. I'm like, okay, if something doesn't, you know, I'm just creating my own opportunities. So that's how I started first. I set up a set of goals, and I decided to follow them one by one. And obviously, you know, you make your sacrifices and you decide what's important for you. So that's why you need to, you know, I always say to people, listen to your heart, you know, listen to your heart, but be very focused and logistical in your head, you know, so you're taking a rational choice, following what makes you feel better. And you can, you know, in a way, it's never give up, number one, okay? Be able to transform your dreams into projects, because once you do that, you know, it's not just like you dreaming about it at night to feel better. Oh, I'm going to do this, and you never do it. No, you start, then you do it. And then you got to suffer, go through a lot of things. And then nobody believes in you at first. And then when it's done, I'm done. Oh yeah, I always believed in you. I love you. Come here, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, come here.
Right,
yeah. That's what happened. That's why for me, just to go back a little bit on the questions, for me, from merge, you know, become also a producer was a natural choice, because business-wise makes more sense to me. So that way, I'm able to maximize my opportunity to success, and at the same time, you know, know which direction I can take. Plus, you have to be very good with diplomacy. If you talk with an investor, with a company or studio, so you know, it's like give it and take. But definitely, if you're just an actor waiting for your agent to make a deal for you, unless your agent is one of the top 10-ish, 10, 15 in town, Apple, whatever they give you in your face. So.
Right. Well, that definitely makes sense. I mean, listen, you've taken control. I think you're so authentic and inspiring in, you know, like your beliefs and your advice, and you really just tell it how it is in such a way that it gets you fired up. Like you're like, oh, I'm inspired. I'm going to go do all these things. And I'm like, okay, let me write all this down. And I'm sure your fan base recognizes that so much. And you have There's a 3.9 million followers on Instagram. So you have a huge fan base. What do you credit to that huge, success on Instagram with such a large following?
Authenticity, and also consistency and quality contents. I never post random things. I never post me eating a salad. I don't think nobody really cares what I'm eating, although I eat very healthy. I always like to be authentic, but authentic my way, not authentic will tell me to be authentic, the way that I want to be. So, because if you show quality stuff, people will appreciate the work, because every photo, everything, every little thing, even the quotes, that I come up with, or I put collages with their quotes. I mean, it's always strategically meant to make people think and then hit their subconscious, motivate them to do better. When life throws you bananas, just eat the bananas and make jokes with the rest. I mean, do something. Never victimize yourself. I never complain really, unless it's something that it's like, okay, I'm paying like $150 for this food and it's not that great. So, then I'm going to complain, but otherwise I just move on. For me, I'm already like on chapter 12. I never really like live in the past. The secret is live the present to make a better future. Never think about what happened in the past. Although I'm a human being, so sometimes I have my up and down, and Hollywood is you need to learn in Hollywood how to be bulletproof projections, because you know how many times they're saying, okay, you in a short list for this big movie, but there's also this big famous movie stars that obviously 99.9% they're gonna go with that, but who cares? At some point, if God wants, it's gonna be it's gonna
right.
But
listen, all I have to say is you're an actor, you're a producer, you're a director, and I'm adding motivational speaker to that list. As one of your many hats, because I think you just have such a natural talent for it. I mean, like, hats off to you, 5-star. Anybody watching this interview, you just got a free motivational speaker lesson worth more than 1,000 an hour, honestly. Okay, so touching on all these things, what's next for you? Do you have any other projects under your belt that maybe we don't know about? What's in the next 5-year plan?
Well, entertainment related, I really want to have a couple of franchises to take off the ground. I currently focus on my medical platform called Medicare as well. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's a mix of artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and machine learning, and it can become the ultimate destination for every citizen in the United States and even worldwide for any healthcare needs. So think about Amazon, but for healthcare in a way. Okay.
Wow.
So it's a very complex long-term project that I've been working on it for years. And the developing part of it, the design, the prototype, and even the encoding, it's something that really inspires me. I really would love to open a foundation and really do things that really matters for our community as American people, without any differences, without any like labels. We're all Americans, on my view, with love and common sense. I really would love to help each part of communities in the United States, and to have a chance to succeed in life and a chance to do something and empower them. And I really would love to be remembered for, I mean, if I can make if I can bring a change in somebody's life and say, wow, I didn't end up killing myself because I had a chance to become an engineer, to become a teacher, to become whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you successful in your universe. That's one of my biggest dreams. That's a long-term project. It can be like 5 to 10 years. And then obviously even open my own, let's see, if I want to open my own studio eventually, and really touch American hearts, and also just bring back the Hollywood that was in the 90s or even in 2000, all the great amazing movies. I mean, right. We had so much great stuff. I'm not saying now that it's not that great, but I mean, I can say that I definitely like a little bit more what we had.
Well, listen, you make a lot of great points. Times have definitely changed. I'm curious because I have a couple of fun questions lined up for you at the end, but it kind of like directly plays into what we're talking about now. What is your favorite personal film? What is your personal favorite film that you have watched? What's your favorite? Something from the 90s to the 2000s, I'm assuming?
I have too many, to be honest with you, but I can start from actually two movies that doesn't matter how many times you watch them, you're gonna always have something to learn from them, and have something to make you think, and also to make it better in your life or whatever. Right. The Godfather 1 and Part 2.
Classic choice. I love it. Okay.
Watch those movies, I'm not kidding, probably over 500 times. And they're I'm the kind of guy that even when I'm writing, sometimes I'm putting some movies up. I can hear the music, the dialogue. It doesn't matter. Scene or two, I know those movies, like.
Right. I'm sure at this point, you know every line, everything.
Pretty much. So I'm like, but because when I watch a movie, I always watch movies with different eyes, with an eyes of an actor, with an eyes of a writer, which Puzo is an incredible writer. An eye of a director, an eye of a producer, and an eye of an executive. And then, of course, you have so many different other movies and other great directors, but that specific one, you can watch it over and over. And things about life, business, and family.
I think, like you said, I completely agree. There is definitely always something to learn watching that movie. And I think it's interesting that you touched on the fact that you're always watching it through different eyes because of all the different hats that you wear, to separate the different roles and learn something from the film each time in a different role. It's really interesting. Aside from the many hats that you wear, because you're so talented in those different regards, do you have any hidden talents or anything that maybe the public doesn't know about that you're good at?
I'm a thinker. I'm a very strategic person. So I never do things randomly. I execute preparation and executions, especially preparation is key to set up everything to success. I mean, if you want something more fun about making food, we can talk about something more light.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of different talents that you're playing down, but you're a very methodical thinker. And are you good at making food as well?
I used to enjoy making food, but to be honest, if I make food on my own, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Cook well, it can take even an hour,
Yeah, no, it definitely is timely. I mean, well, my last question for you, I know on screen you definitely have some superpowers and your characters are in that sci-fi action genre. But my question is, off screen, if you could have a superpower in real life, what would it be?
I thought about this so many times, and
you lay awake at night thinking about this question, ponders.
Well, a lot of people, they want to be immortals, but then you think, if I'm going to be immortal, all my loved ones eventually they're going to die, and then you're going to be alone, and then loneliness, it's a big struggle, if you think about it, because I'm experiencing loneliness for the last maybe 15 years of my life, because you make choices, and then you think, well, it would be nice to be able to fly, but then if you fly and you're not invincible, then an airplane can kill you.
Right. There are a lot of pitfalls to a lot of choices.
What are you going to do when you're invisible? Nobody can see you. So what's the point? Unless it's a combination of at least 3 powers, I don't think is worth it really. I think the best power that we all have, it's our motivations. And we can have all the powers that we want if we shape our brain.
Well, love and common sense, I feel like, is like the headline of this, takeaway, because it really is just a piece of some of the most amazing advice that myself and everyone else who watches this interview is going to get to take away. Thank you so much for hopping on to chat with us about your incredibly transcendent career and also giving such wonderful, authentic advice that really plays into your many successes.
Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk to you today.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.